If you've ever been curious about the origins of the Indian people according to the Bible, here's another fascinating question to consider. Where did the Gypsies, this mysterious and unique group, actually come from? Their past is both captivating and complex. In this episode, we'll explore their story through the lens of the Bible, genetics, and the history of nations and ethnic groups. Together, we will uncover the origins of both Indians and Gypsies and examine their remarkable historical journey. If you're already familiar with our series, don't forget to leave a like to support our work. And if you're new here, make sure to watch until the end. If you find this video meaningful, remember to like and subscribe so you won't miss upcoming episodes. Let's dive into another chapter of our series, the origin of peoples according to the Bible. The Vedic texts, known as the Vedas, sacred ancient writings of India, mention conflicts with a people referred to as the Dacians, associated with the Indus civilization, who were described as having dark skin. The indigenous peoples of India generally have darker skin tones, which, according to biblical lineage, points to their descent from the sons of Noah, specifically Ham. The Hamitic lineage is traditionally linked to the populations of southern India and is considered the original root of the Indian people. Their darker skin tone reflects this ancestry. Over time, however, there was significant mixing with a lighter-skinned ethnic group who identified themselves as Aryans. This tribe is believed to have descended from Japheth, characterized by fair skin and light eyes, and emerged roughly 3,700 years ago. This Japhethite group would go on to give rise to other peoples as well. If you are interested, I've included in the description a video that explores the origin of the white peoples, specifically the peoples of Europe, who are descended from the lineage of Japheth. The mixing between these groups led to a significant ethnic division within India. As a result of this miscegenation, the northern regions of the country came to be inhabited mainly by lighter-skinned individuals, often with blue or green eyes, while the southern regions were predominantly populated by people with darker complexions. This extensive blending of populations occurred through their interactions over time. For example, one can observe a striking image of a dark-skinned woman with blue eyes, a living example of the genetic mixing that took place in India around 1700 BC. Later, around 500 BC, fair-skinned Aryan groups invaded and took control of parts of India, creating a population that combined both Hamitic and Japhethite lineages. Another factor to note is the influence of Togarma, traditionally regarded as the ancestor of many Asian peoples. His descendants had a smaller, yet notable, genetic impact on some Indian groups. This Asian contribution likely occurred before the large-scale mixing between the Aryans and Japhethites around 1700 BC, as many dark-skinned Indians already had straighter hair, which indicates this influence. In short, Indians are primarily descended from Ham, reflected in a naturally darker skin tone, tracing their lineage back to Noah's son Ham. Alongside this, significant intermixing with the light-skinned, light-eyed Aryan peoples helped shape the demographic distribution of India. The northern regions became home to populations with brown, white, and yellowish complexions, while the southern regions remained predominantly inhabited by darker-skinned Hamitic peoples. Now, let's turn to the origins of a group that shares notable genetic similarities with Indians, the Gypsies. This enigmatic people eventually spread across many regions, including various European countries, Brazil, Turkey, Egypt, and others, despite their traditionally nomadic lifestyle. The origin of the Gypsy people remained a deep mystery for many centuries, and only a few truly understood where they came from. The Roma language, Romani, is traditionally an unwritten language, lacking a formal writing system. Additionally, many Gypsy customs involve deliberately forgetting their past and even burning historical records, which made tracing their origins even more difficult. Throughout history, countless theories emerged regarding their beginnings. Were they from Egypt, Persia, Morocco, Romania, Albania, or perhaps the Ottoman Empire? Many assumptions and speculations circulated about their homeland, but none were conclusive and often sparked controversy. From the 18th century onward, European scholars began studying the Roma languages more systematically, including Romani. Linguistic research revealed that the language spoken by European Gypsies belongs to the Aryan branch of the Indo-European language family. This discovery was crucial in uncovering their true origins. Researchers determined that Romani is part of the Indo-European languages, a family that includes regions such as Persia and, most significantly, India. This indicates that the Roma people originally came from northern India, where various Indian languages and their dialects were spoken. Over the centuries, due to their nomadic lifestyle, the Roma people migrated extensively from one country and region to another. As a result, their language absorbed elements from other cultures, such as Persian and Arabic, since these groups were also known for their frequent migrations. This interaction led to cultural exchanges, and traces of these influences can still be seen among gypsies in places like Turkey, Egypt, and nearby regions. Although there was some mixing with Persians and Arabs, it remained relatively limited and did not dominate their cultural or genetic makeup. The origin of the gypsy people remains rooted in northern India, meaning they are essentially an Indian population that later mixed with Persians and Arabs before eventually migrating into Europe, including the Iberian Peninsula and other regions of the continent, prior to arriving in Brazil, where many gypsies live today. Among them, there are three main branches or groups: the Ram, the Kalan, and the Sindhi. The earliest documented reference to gypsies dates back to 1426, though older mentions appear in ancient Persian writings. However, definitive confirmation of their origins came much later through genetic research conducted in 2012 and published in a scientific journal. In this study, DNA samples from 152 individuals across 13 different gypsy groups were analyzed. The findings supported what linguistic studies had already suggested: all genetic evidence traced their origins back to India. Specifically, the Roma people were found to originate from northern India, particularly the Punjab region near present-day Pakistan. As for why they left northern India and dispersed across the globe, historians believe their migration began as a result of invasions by the armies of Sultan Mahmud of Ghazni, prompting them to flee their homeland. Over time, they spread across many regions, including Europe and eventually the Americas. In the United States today, there are several Roma or gypsy communities spread throughout the country. These communities consist of various groups and clans, each with its own distinct traditions, dialects, and cultural backgrounds. The Roma, one of the most significant gypsy groups in the U.S., trace their ancestry to northern India and have maintained their migration patterns over centuries. Within the U.S., they continue to preserve their customs, cultural identity, and the Romani language. Additionally, other gypsy tribes and communities can also be found in different parts of the country, each contributing to the diverse Roma presence in the United States. Each of these gypsy tribes has its own unique history, traditions, and cultural identity, all of which contribute to the ethnic and cultural diversity of the countries where they live. In Brazil, which has one of the largest gypsy communities in the world, the first group to arrive were the Kalan, around 574 individuals, who came from Portugal and Spain. They were later followed by the Roma from Turkey and Greece, and eventually by the Sindhi, who arrived from Germany after World War II. From a biblical perspective, the origin of the gypsies is traced back to the lineage of Japheth, as their migration began in northern India, a region associated with lighter skin tones. At the same time, they also possess Hamitic ancestry, which explains the range of brownish skin tones among gypsy populations, from lighter shades to darker ones. This blend reflects their descent from both Japheth and Ham. This, according to the Bible, is the origin of both the Indian and gypsy peoples. I hope you enjoyed this exploration and stayed with us until the end. If you have gypsy or Indian ancestry, I encourage you to like the video and share in the comments which gypsy branch your family belongs to, whether Kalan or any other group. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next episode of our series on the origin of peoples according to the Bible, based on Genesis chapter 10. Don't forget to leave your suggestions for upcoming videos. See you soon.